Hey new parents, I'm Brian and welcome back to The Dad Life. There are so many different types of baby carriers out there, and it's tough to know if you even need one in the first place. And if you do, which one do you choose? The truth is, it depends on your baby's growth stage and your personal preference. So I'm going to walk you through a few factors to consider which might help you decide which kind of carrier might work best for you and for your little one. Mom Cozy, who's a sponsor of this channel, sent me a few baby wraps to try out, and I'm going to give you my honest thoughts about when to use each one and how they compare to other carriers I've tried. First off, do you really need a baby carrier? Technically, no. But they can make your life easier, which I actually cover in this episode over here, especially when you're trying to carry your baby a lot during the first year or even until they can walk. And even then, they're still going to want to be held a lot during the first couple of years. So while you might get a good arm workout, you'll eventually get pretty fatigued and your back is going to start to suffer as your baby grows and starts to wriggle around, causing you to become pretty unbalanced. Now, a quick pro tip. Whether you use a baby carrier or not, core exercises are going to help you prevent injuries. And remember, your core includes not just your front ab muscles, but also your lower back. And if those muscle groups are strong, then you'll be in a much better position to protect your back as your baby starts to grow bigger and bigger. Now, typically when your baby is in the newborn phase, you will want to use really soft materials for almost everything that you use that are comfortable and help your baby feel snug against your body. And this is because your baby's skin during the first few weeks is super sensitive, and you'll want to be mindful of what kinds of materials are in contact with their skin. Another pro tip is, depending on the weather and the temperature of the environment that you're typically in, you can find wraps that are lighter and more breathable, or some that are a little bit warmer. So it depends on your situation. Also, since most of us know that skin-to-skin contact is also highly encouraged during the first few weeks, having your baby close to you will help you bond with your child and also help them feel really comfortable. And for those reasons, a baby wrap can be a nice option for you to hold your baby close to you. And typically baby wraps use soft fabrics, and some wraps are literally a rectangular piece of fabric that you can wrap around yourself and tie yourself into a knot, basically. Personally, my wife and I have never been able to figure out how to successfully wrap a baby using one of these wraps. And it's kind of like figuring out how to tie a tricky knot or tying a tie, if you know what I mean. That being said, I do know some parents who are experts at this and can wrap a baby super quickly, and I don't even know how they do it. But it's intimidating for me because it just feels super complicated. Now, if you choose to use a wrap and want something that is a little bit easier and more structured than just having a loose piece of fabric that you have to kind of figure out how to wrap around yourself, then a baby wrap like this one over here from Mom Cozy might work for you. And this one comes in two different pieces: a main body section that has kind of a harness on the back. It's like an X shaped, and it also has these buckles on the bottom, and also it comes with a belt wrap section. And so what this, you can kind of see, this is kind of folded in half, but the middle section here is wider than the ends, which are tapered, so that's kind of where you would wrap it around yourself. The main body section is more structured and defined with the back brace, and the buckles would show you which side is up and down, front and back, so it's a lot easier to figure out how to even put this on in the first place. And the instructions even say, put on this part like it's a t-shirt, and it's true. I literally just put it on like a t-shirt and it worked. This one feels nice because it's made out of a lightweight material which is breathable, and it's also stretchy like athletic wear, so it'll be more comfortable for you and the baby. There are some reviews online that say you need to wrap it really tightly in order for your baby to feel secure, or for you to feel secure about your baby being in this wrap, and that's kind of up to you. I also do like this blue gradient pattern, which is a nice design, and there are other color options to choose from which are really nice. I'm still pretty intimidated by the wrap concept in general, but I was able to figure out for this video. I will personally probably go on to the next option, which is just easier for me, but if this is something that you might like, I think it's honestly easier to figure out than a standard wrap that is just a long piece of fabric. Now, once your baby is about 1 month old, or depending on how big they are, you can start to use a harness style baby carrier, and these are typically more structured carriers with mesh materials to make them breathable and something that you can wear for a long period of time. Some of them have magnetic buckles, which make it easier to attach, whereas others have buttons or even other kinds of attachment mechanisms. Now, it's recommended to keep your baby facing you until they are able to hold up their neck on their own, because if they can't and they're facing outwards, then there's a chance that their neck might fall onto the upper lip of the carrier and limit their air supply. Having your little one face towards you will actually be safer in the beginning, and then you can start to transition them to facing outwards once you feel that they're ready. Once our baby started to hold their head up on their own and was actually more interested in observing their surroundings and their environment, we started to switch them to the outward facing position. And that was around, the 2 to 3 month mark, if you will. Now, one thing that's really important is that you want to be mindful of the leg positions inside of the carrier, and you'll want to find a carrier that allows your baby to sit in an M position where the baby's legs are spread outwards with their knees higher than their bottom, forming kind of like an M shape. And you'll hear some people refer to this as like a spread squat or like the froggy position. And this position is typically supported by pediatricians and orthopedic experts as optimal for promoting healthy hip development in their babies. It also helps maintain a natural C-shaped spine, which is really important for their spine development. And lastly, this position also reduces pressure on their spine and hips, making it more comfortable for them for longer periods of time. So, in really simple terms, just try to avoid having your baby's legs dangle straight down in the carrier if you can. Now, this cozy and lightweight carrier from Mom Cozy is a good option, among others, and it has breathable mesh material so that it's more comfortable for you and the baby. It has simple button attachment points and belly and lumbar support and 2 straps that can tighten the carrier so that it's snug against your body. And it also has these multiple button positions to promote M position for their legs as the baby grows. Now, compared to some more fully featured carriers like the Colugo, this one is lighter and less bulky. This is similar to the Infantino brand, but the quality of this one is a little bit nicer and it's lighter, so it doesn't get as hot. And I also like the different color and pattern options that they have available online, and so this one might be a good option for you. From our experience though, we've generally found that more fully featured carriers like the Colugo carrier are easier to use. And so it might be a little bit more bulky, but in the end, it's easier to put on, it's easier from a usability standpoint, and all of the adjustments that are available to you just make it a whole lot easier to put on and take off. The magnetic buckles here are really helpful because when you're holding the baby up with one hand and you're trying to get things attached as quickly as possible, the magnets just snap into place and you don't have to worry about them. Also, the lumbar support on this is really nice because it provides great coverage for your lower back and you can really feel the difference compared to other products. Now, when your little one starts sitting up on their own and growing bigger, a hip carrier like this one becomes a great option. It naturally positions your baby against your hip, which helps distribute their weight even more evenly. Holding your baby on your hip can be exhausting over time, and even if you're in good shape, you're gonna have to start to move them around your hip just to kind of spread out the weight and also give one arm a rest while the other one takes on that stress. And a tush carrier supports your child without putting all of that strain on your arms, saving you from a lot of discomfort and also reducing the need for maybe even having to go to a chiropractor like I have to ever since I've started having kids. This kind of tush carrier is a relatively newer invention that came out in about 2018. And now there are actually many brands that have a version like this because the original company I think only has a design patent, not a utility patent. Think of these as essentially a glorified fanny pack that has a ledge on top so that your baby can sit on it, and they typically wrap around your waist with a buckle or Velcro, and this helps distribute the weight across your waist versus just on one hip. And the nice thing is you can actually rotate this carrier around your waist to mix it up and also shift the weight around so you can balance things out on both sides of your body, or even on the front. This Mom Cozy version is nice because it has a few differences from other models from what I can tell. The ledge is slightly larger than other models, which promotes better M-shaped posture, like I was talking about earlier. I also appreciate that there's a leather patch sewed on top of the ledge, which kind of acts like a non-slip surface, so it'll help prevent your baby from slipping off too easily. You still need to hold them, okay? This one's pretty easy to put on and adjustable with the buckle that goes around your waist, and the buckle itself is pretty large, so it's easy to kind of hold in your hands and you can kind of feel where it needs to go. And what I really like about this one is that it has a safety toggle on the buckle itself that needs to be activated before you can take it off. And so that's just a really nice extra safety feature that will prevent the buckle from falling off inadvertently. It also has a few thoughtful storage options like a zippered pocket on the side for your phone and a zippered pocket on top where you can put other things that you might need for that day. Maybe it's a wallet, wipes, or sanitizer, and it just reduces the need for yet another thing to carry. I also like this because it's pretty lightweight with breathable materials. It's a common theme with the Mom Cozy products, and so you should feel comfortable wearing these for a long period of time. So depending on your preference and what stage of life your little one is in, you might find that one or even more of these carriers might be helpful for you in protecting your back and also your arms. So thanks to Mom Cozy for sponsoring the channel and providing these carriers for the video. You can find the links below to these 3 products, and if you use the promo code, you'll also get a nice little discount. If you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe for more practical parenting tips and product reviews, and I'll see you next time on The Dad Life.